Thank you for joining us for this conversation. Let's dive right into it. For everyone who's watching right now, who is Naeem Zamindar?
That's a hard question. All of us are on this planet for a purpose. And I feel my purpose on this planet is to hopefully make this world a happier place. In the process, find happiness for myself and my own purpose. And what is purpose? Purpose is simply purpose, right? Whatever lights your fire. So I make sure I'm a person who wants to live on purpose. In the process, I've done multiple things. I've taken major risk in my life, right? I remember when I used to be a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, and there was a huge downturn, and I got, I was feeling a lot of stress. So I learned meditation, and I really got inspired by meditation. I got so inspired by it because it helped change my life so much that I gave up my life in Silicon Valley to come back to Pakistan and become a teacher, right? From driving a BMW to going in a bus. So just because I felt it was my purpose, it was my calling, I felt that I wanted to give back in a bigger way. Many years ago, when I was a kid, I survived a bomb blast, right? And I'd carried the trauma for many, many years. And so it would get triggered off. And when I learned meditation, I realized, you can let go of things. Then I ran a social impact fund, which was also a great experience. But finally, when I got a chance to join the government, so I met the Prime Minister one day. I knew the Prime Minister, when Shahid Khaqan Abbasi became the Prime Minister, he and I had worked to help somebody 20 years ago, right? There's somebody who needed help, and the only two people who came to this person's help was him and me, right? So we had a relationship of trust. So when he became the Prime Minister, I sent him a congratulatory message. He called me over in the middle of the night, 11 o'clock at night. And in the conversation, he offered me the job to become the chairman board of investment. And he asked me 3 requirements. He said, cut your hair. Number 2, and do it pro bono, right? And do it from tomorrow onwards. Most people say, let me think about it, going pro bono. When I was running a fund, I had a lot of responsibility. I was enjoying it. I jumped on it, right? That's again taking a huge risk with your life. Did that. It was really great fun. We made a big difference. And for example, one of the things we worked on was ease of doing business, right? Because the challenge of Pakistan is not that it's not a great investment opportunity. And the challenge is that when investors come, right, most of them feel that it's very hard to do business in Pakistan, hard to get started, and they normally go away, either don't invest. If 1,000 people come to look at Pakistan as an investment opportunity, only maybe 10, 20 of those will ever actually invest in this country, primarily because of our own reasons. So I said, let's focus on ease of doing business. Not only for that, because not only for new investors, but for existing investors. They need an environment which is conducive to business, which is easy to do business in. They'll grow. We're a very dynamic nation. We have a lot of entrepreneurial energy, but we've actually stifled it.
What is leadership to you? And how can someone start cultivating some tools, tactics, and strategies if they want to inspire others to do what inspires them?
So first thing for leadership, right? And you have to bring energy into whatever you do, right? Because if you don't bring energy, how will things move? To move things, you need energy, right? Same thing as leader. If you're a leader, you bring energy to the place. Number 2, you need to be able to bring people together. The old models of command and control are gone, right? It's now a whole different age where it's a collaborative economy. People come together, especially the millennials. They want purpose. So you've got to inspire them. You need to be able to allow people to work together, right? Create space for them. And number 3 is you really need to be able to help shape a vision. For example, if you have to develop a vision for Pakistan, Imran Khan can try his best, or any leader can try his best, but he has to really feel into the aspirations of the people, right? To be able to actually come up with a vision that moves things, right? Then you channel energy into it, and you bring people together, you can have miracles happen. Here's the vision. We can get there. Let's do it in small steps. That's what we did. We did small steps. Said, let's break it down to small steps. So I started building confidence of the team. We did 100-day sprints, right? Said, okay, 100 दिन में क्या कर सकते? Let's get some small successes, and that builds the confidence of the team, that they can start then thinking, oh, we can do this. We can build upon this.
Since we're talking about leadership, you bring a high level of passion and intelligence to anything that you do. Do you think passion is something that is found while we're working, or does our passion find us?
The passion is something that, again, I relate it to purpose, right? If you're on purpose, again, doing things that light you up, whatever lights you up, that becomes your passion, right? It doesn't matter. Nobody gives it to you. You got to find whatever lights you up. If it lights you up, right? If it's writing, if it's being a mountain climber, whatever, because that's where the energy comes from. I came from a upper middle class family. Both my parents were professionals, right? They felt that if I succeeded in professional world, I would, be a success. On the path, like I became a teacher for a while, right? And they were very unhappy. They're very good parents. I loved them, but it was just the whole society at large, and I had a lot of pressure on me to go back. And I love teaching. I really do love teaching. That's where I get lit up the most. But then I had to go back to work, and I started becoming a teacher at work, right? Working with people, teaching them, enabling them. And I found a way to be able to channel my energy into business, because I'm also a creative person and I want to create.
So to achieve the level of clarity that you have, how important is it to self-analyze and self-reflect?
Absolutely. You have to take out some time every single day, right? To first of all review what's gone on in your life, to be quiet, to just listen to your own inner self. So, I teach people how to quieten the mind. That's part of what I used to teach, is self-realization through being able to let go of the mind, because the mind is very busy all the time. It's thinking, it's affected by the news, right? In Pakistan, the news just affects you, by society, expectations of other people around you. When you, in a quiet space, when you shut that off, then you can really listen to your inner voice. And we need to retrain ourselves to be able to find time and space to be able to quieten our mind, really look inside ourselves and find that strength and purpose within yourselves.
So how important is it to achieve harmony between our personal lives and our professional lives?
Professional life and personal lives are not separate. They are one and the same. And, your work should be an expression of who you are. Purpose is given by ourselves, right? So building the masjid is up to you, right? And how you see things. So changing our paradigms is the way forward on that.
So being a conscious thought leader, you bring drive, positivity, and infectious energy with you anywhere you go. How are you able to sustain this mindset, especially during dark and turbulent times?
You said I take some time out every day and do my practices, which allow me to quieten my mind. We are infinitely power. हमें इतनी कुदरत दी है, हमें अपना एहसास नहीं है, right? अगर हमें अपना एहसास हो जाए कि हम हैं कौन, तो फिर everything is possible. Challenges are there to make us stronger. If we changing the perspective, changing the paradigm. Every challenge, everything that I see that is difficult, I see it as an opportunity to find more strength within myself, to lift up the room. मुझे ये कहावत है कि कभी-कभी आप महफिल में आते तो आप देख रहे हैं हर बंदा नेगेटिवली बात कर रहा है, आपकी एनर्जी डाउन हो जाती है, सब डाउन हो रहे हैं, राइट? भाई आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि उस कमरे में आप टू लिफ्ट इट अप. सो यू टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. Once you take responsibility, I can lift up the energy in the room, then that's not a difficult job. You can lift up the energy of the room, change the paradigm. Instead of getting, यार सारे लोग यहाँ मनूस है और negative है. नहीं भाई, मेरा काम है, opportunity मेरे पास to light it up and to play my game at different level. So it's matter of perspective, building the perspective. I've been a venture capitalist, so I've invested in entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs that you invest in are the ones who have the mindset. It's not the one with the most experience. Sometimes you take the younger guys, right? You've heard about, when Microsoft was started, all the great companies, they were young people with not much experience. But they had an idea, they believed in it, they had the energy, and they weren't willing to take a no. They were willing to do whatever it took to make the impossible possible. And that's the spirit, right? So you're always looking for people who have that kind of energy.
For my last question,
Right.
having worked in the US, Europe, and Asia as a results-driven venture capitalist who has built and scaled businesses for over 27 years, what have you learned about life?
That life is a journey, right? That you got to enjoy every moment that you have, doing whatever you're doing, right? There is no destination, and it's about giving your best. Every time you scale one height, when I was working, I thought one day I'll become a CEO, right? And they'll be the best thing in the world. I became a CEO, and it was great for the first week or so. Then I realized, oh my God, this is not easy. There's a lot of responsibility, and it's not. So I realized that there's no destination. You just have to follow your heart and give it your best and enjoy the process. And the second thing I learned, right, is about responsibility. One of the most important insights I've also learned from spirituality, right? In spirituality, there's a saying that you are responsible for everything, right? The more you grow as a human being, more you evolve, the more responsibility you take. If you look at our prophets, like Hamare Rasool, right? He took not only responsibility for himself, but for the whole kainat. The more responsibility you take, the more power you get. जब मैं पाकिस्तान आया था ना वापस मेडिटेशन सिखाने के लिए, तो मैं पहले बंदे के पास गया था, वो था अब्दुल सत्तार ईदी. तो जब अब्दुल सत्तार ईदी के पास गया तो वो मुझे कहानी बताने लगा कि बोला जब मैं when I came, he came from India, from Gujarat, and he migrated to Karachi, and he saw वहाँ लाशें पड़ी थी, वो बहुत मुहाजिर आए थे, तो a lot of people are dying, and वो लाशें पड़ी रहती थी, and so he started picking up those corpses and taking them to the graveyard, and he just kept doing it. People started joining him. He got more and more power. Right? Over the years, he continued because he felt that was his calling. People started joining him to the extent that it became the largest ambulance service in the world. That's because he took responsibility.